So I first went vegan when I came across a video of what happened to animals. I had never realized it before, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to make a big change in my life.
I went vegan through meditation. It was realizing my connection to all beings and that we all want to live and we all don't want to suffer.
We went vegan around the same time, and this really helped us.
We realized that once we were vegan, we had to do more.
We became activists.
It wasn't us only going vegan together that made us feel stronger about what we were doing, but also realizing that we had the power together to make an even bigger difference.
We knew it wasn't enough to just be vegan. The animals needed us to act, to speak out for them.
We were free from the system, but there were other beings who weren't.
So the first time we visited an animal sanctuary, we started making the connection with the animals even more.
We saw the difference that people were making, not only in liberating animals, but in giving animals the freedom they deserve for the rest of their lives. And we realised this is such an important part of activism, to maintain the sanctuary, but also it takes such a huge amount of work that we started organising volunteering days there as well to help out more. Visiting animal sanctuaries wasn't only part of it. This needed to filter into our life in questioning everything in how we could do more. And this was so easy because it was just about walking down the street and noticing things that didn't look right, where we could make a difference. It could be either giving a leaflet or writing a message on the floor in chalk, and just realizing like the difference that that makes to one person or to many people walking past.
The day we turned up to our first protest, we were really shy and nervous, and we didn't know what to expect or what to do really.
But as the protest went on, we found our passion took over, which resulted in a victory and made us realise the power that we had in helping others.
And how easily we could achieve this. It wasn't long before we started setting up our own demonstrations and reaching out to other activists to join us.
There was always something to protest about, and there was lots of different tactics that we learnt along the way in dealing with different things.
Sometimes it involved exposing exactly what those businesses were doing to the public and embarrassing them for their involvement in animal cruelty.
So it was important to create the awareness that we needed to make by making sure this was always in a very public place, in the busiest high street store, on the busiest street, on the busiest time when everyone would be around.
This included not only reaching out to the public that were passing by our protest, but also including all of the people online that weren't aware what was happening. We could do this by filming it and creating videos, and this was what inspired us to make our YouTube channel.
This also involved setting up online actions so that we could target the business from all angles.
So sometimes the police attend the protests, and this is when you need to know your rights as an activist, what you can get away with and what is not worth it sometimes.
We realised that we needed to stay focused and stay connected because we never knew what was going to happen at a demonstration. For example, sometimes you can find yourself not far away from where an animal is being abused, and you still have to take every opportunity in getting it out there. Try not to let anything throw us and staying focused for them.
We learned a lot from activists in the past and what they had done and how effective they had been. But now we started looking to ourselves and to our own creative abilities.
Using our message of getting the truth out there, we realised we could take advantage of technology more, and we started to bring laptops into our protests.
This brought the cruel reality of what was happening to the animals straight to the viewers' eyes, right there at the demonstration. Instead of giving a leaflet with a link of a video to watch, it was right there in front of them, and we found this to be so effective.
People couldn't turn away from what was happening, and they certainly couldn't forget about it either.
It's often more powerful when people see it for themselves.
This was mostly effective when we were tackling Angora.
We started reflecting on what was working, and when we were onto a good thing, we continued with it.
Instead of tackling the whole of the fur industry, we decided to tackle a part of it and work with what the public was mostly outraged by. Fur was already banned in the UK, but the importation of it wasn't. Everything that we had learnt along the way had come together to create really, really strong activism. Lots of people were joining us, lots of members of the public were being made aware, and businesses were listening.
We were talking in a language that businesses could understand. We were financially disrupting them. They could no longer ignore us. It was our powerful activism that eventually attracted a mainstream television channel wanting to feature us on TV in front of millions of viewers.
We got lots of other people to join us, and we helped to wake up other people who also realised that they wanted to make a difference.
We took the idea of the laptops and showing people footage and letting them see it for themselves and created a new form of activism. We didn't know how big this was going to grow.
We just got there by making sure that everything that we were doing that was working, we could try to make it bigger and better. And everything that wasn't working, we'd try to change it. The idea of masks came about because we wanted to bring attention to what we were doing, and we also wanted to bring the connection closer between the viewer and what was being shown on the screen, and so the viewer could reflect on their reactions alone.
Once we felt how effective it was, sitting there and wearing our masks, showing people Earthlings, and people were queuing up to watch, we knew that we had to share this with all the other activists out there.
We set up a page on Facebook and led by being the change and encouraging other people to do it too.
Before we knew it, there were so many other cities taking part in so many different places around the world.
Within a year, this was happening on a global scale. We held our first International Earthlings Experience Day not long after, and we've decided that we're going to keep doing this, not annually, but as often as we can. And we also hold Earthlings Experience events every weekend.
We will continue to do this because we have seen just how effective it is.
The feedback from those trying the Earthlings Experience for their first go at activism, or other activists that have been doing this for a long time, or even people that haven't even made the connection yet, has been phenomenal. Everyone can feel that they are part of an instant change happening.